everyone, and welcome to another Scots Whay podcast. And today I'm joined by Warren McIntyre. Hello, Warren.
Hello, how are you, Ali?
I'm good. Warren is frontman and leader of the Starry Skies, but so much more than that, as we're about to find out. So the reason, first of all, Warren, I can't believe we haven't done one of these before, because it seems crazy. We've known each other quite a while now, and this seems the perfect time to remedy that, because you've got new music coming out.
Yes, we have. We've just finished our latest album. It's called Do It With Love, and it's basically a collection of songs about love, not necessarily kind of romantic love, love between friends, and just love for, I don't know, humanity at large. It sounds a bit cliched, but it is the whole aim at the beginning of it was to write a really kind of positive and positive message album, and that's what it is. But it's not preachy. It's not kind of telling people to do this or do that. It's just kind of various reflections we've had in the period of writing songs.
So tell people who don't know a little bit about the Starry Skies, because it's a kind of it's a flexible band, isn't it? Put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the band started off about 7 years ago, and then it was myself, John Rooney, Chaz Fraser, Noel O'Donnell, Heather. I'm going to miss people out, and then people will be annoyed if you hear this. And Johnny Smiley, Monica also played some for a few songs. Monica done some great harmony vocals in some of the early recordings, and Johnny put some guitar in those as well. And Johnny produced the first two albums. And from then, just because, it's like in Glasgow, so many people are in different bands, brilliant bands, different kind of competing priorities. Over time, some people have kind of stepped back and then stepped back in, and that's kind of continued through the whole life of the band. At the moment, we have the whole band's kind of based around John Rooney on guitar, Adam Scott on bass, Heather on violin, Jen on cello and vocals, and Sophie playing viola. Have I missed anybody out? No, I don't think so. But also, this record's a different one, actually, because this is the first record that, to a certain extent, Matt, who produced it, did give him more of a free range, perhaps, than I did in the past. And that wasn't because Johnny wasn't. Johnny is an amazing producer and guitarist. Matt just happens also to be a kind of multi-instrumentalist. So It means that he's got all these Rhodes pianos and Hammond organs and mandolins. He's actually a violin player, but he studied composition. So Matt, I suppose this new album, I would say, like, he's become the kind of the eighth member of the band, because he's put these parts on it, and he's really added to it.
But one of the things about the way that the band works is that you can go from you doing the stuff solo, as we'll hear in a minute, to having a full band on stage. It's a real flexible, it's a quite clever, I think, way of having a band.
Well, thank you for the compliment. If only I was being clever. It's just more through necessity, really. As I say, people are different parts of the country at different times, so it just means that don't have to refuse gigs. So if there's a gig that, for example, that suits a solo or a duo, we'll do it like that. But we've even had, I've not mentioned, and there's been other gigs we've played with the very big band have kindly joined us on stage, and I think there's like 20 of them. It's led by the amazing JP Berry, and he's a kind of a good friend and been very kind in that he's actually brought the whole band along to play a few songs at a couple of concerts, and that was the plan. We planned our album launch. In fact, probably better cancel it, because I think it's still on sale for the CCA on the 22nd of August. I really don't see that happening now, although maybe I'll give it another couple of weeks, who knows, in case we come up with some miraculous cure. But So the plan was to get the very big band there as well, and I'd love to have seen them in that stage in the CCA, because the CCA is just such a brilliant room and a brilliant sound. It would have been great. But anyway, another time.
Yeah, that's a great idea, definitely. So let's talk a bit about the concept. You say could you say it's a concept album about love, or love is just the theme of most of the songs?
It is, I suppose. Yeah, it's a concept album. I suppose it's not a concept album because it doesn't really quite start somewhere and conclude. And I think that's what a concept album is meant to do. I will have to look up concept albums. I can't, but I think that is it. So it is more. It just so happened it was almost by chance. I knew the first couple of songs were written for it, and one, the chorus, which is the single that's out Thursday. It was just come out on Thursday there. and we're kind of doing the various promo for that at the moment. That, the chorus was Because I Love You, and then the next song for the album was called Do It With Love. And then from then on, I just kind of noticed that a few other, they all really reference love in some way or other. And I say not a romantic love or a lustful love or something like that, more a kind of, you know, just love as a concept. I saw a fantastic cartoon, and it was like, I actually contacted the guy, I have to dig out his name, I can't remember it now, because it was 6 months ago, and it was this amazing cartoon, and he had all these guys, they were just these stick drawings, I think his name was Jonathan something, I'll look up again. These stick drawings are all like that, they're all kind of arguing about each other, and this one comes up and he just kind of goes like that and holds up a heart, you know, and Nigel looks at him, and then the next thing, one person kind of moves over and he's got the heart, and then suddenly it's free. And it's just that idea of positive feelings and just how important love is. We all need love. That's one thing that we all need.
Well, absolutely. You talk about having the new single out, which is called
Here Comes the Moon. That came out on Thursday back there.
And you know, doing some promotion around it. But how difficult has it been to this time around with new music and the whole COVID-19 situation to release music and promote it? Challenging, I guess.
It really was a kind of, it was kind of, as humorous looking at it, but the whole thing about when God laughs when man makes plans, but the plans were all in place. There was like 14 shows booked, kind of across Scotland, some really interesting ones in Arran. We were playing in Edinburgh as part of the Fringe, supporting the Bluebells in the old Dr. Somebody's Old Bells Baths, which was this amazing venue. So there's all these different things booked. And so much, I'd been kind of planning for, there was going to be a lot of concerts to promote this album, probably more than I've ever done, and I do a lot of concerts. But I decided that I was going to town with this one because I really believe in the record. So I actually got a band van, basically, like credit and got a load of things. I put myself into Hawk and bought this amazing band van and PA all ready for the first single coming out. Here, Sweet Honey Blue was the first single that came out the album a couple months ago. So there you go. I could show you, maybe I'll send you a picture and you can put it up. Excuse me. This great van with like 3 seats in the front, 3 in the back, big area for backline, loading, you know, fantastic. And a really good PA. Now, the plan was to then just be completely mobile. We could just go and play gigs that otherwise wouldn't be economically feasible, because all I'd really have to make is petrol money, and would really push it selling the album and just meeting new people and, you know, connecting to new networks and stuff. So that was going to happen, and it was already in place because a number of the gigs were booked. So I got the van and got the PA, and I think it was the week we scheduled the release of Sweet Honey Blue, and then bam, you know. So it was like, coronavirus. So. And I did a little bit of promotion for Sweet Honey Blue, but kind of felt really strange, and it still does feel strange actually, maybe for a different reason, but it felt really strange to be kind of promoting something. Well, I don't have to be really heavy, but at that point, they're looking at the hospital's been overrun and this kind of horrible news. And the idea of me going, hi folk, it just was like, so I did a little bit of it, but at one point I just thought, right, that's it, the single's gone. But we're really lucky, you're saying about promotion, we've been really lucky with a few radio shows, including your own, a number of radio shows have played it, so that's been great. And Sweet Honey Blue did get, and bizarrely actually, it picked up maybe about 2 months after release by like Natasha Radio, and her show is brilliant, and BBC. I mean, that's a really eclectic show, and I was so chuffed that we got played in that. And she actually called it timeless. You see, for years I have read back in the day, reading the NME and all these music magazines, and it would always, and Bobby Gillespie and others, you were talking about with Andy when Andy was on their podcast, you know, they'd always talk about love and the 13th floor elevators and all these different bands and as being just this timeless music, and it's the ultimate compliment. And Natasha actually said in the radio, beautiful song, timeless sound, and put it on. And honestly, I just was like, that was enough. So all the rest of it didn't matter. And with regards to promotion, again, how are we promoting it? Going to be on East Fife Radio on the 5th of July, I think 6th of July, postcards from the underground. And we're doing an interview with Janice Forsyth's show. We did that on Thursday, so that was a great kind of way of getting out there. And other than that, other promotion we're doing is the Scotsman Live. They're doing a live stream, so we're doing that. So we've been quite lucky, but by the same token, luck comes when you chase things up. So there's been a fair amount of chasing things up to
I'm
do,
sure.
rather than just booking a gig. We're all really missing playing kind of music live again, but that's just, well, people are missing a lot of things, you know, so poor us.
Well, with that in mind, would you fancy playing us a song live now, Warren?
Absolutely, and this will be a one kind of, I don't think, an exclusive. So I'm going to play a song called Love's River. And now we should say that I know there's been hundreds of albums written about love, and it does seem really, really corny. I mean, but see just how the turmoil and just how mental the world has been and seems to have been since Trump was elected and all these kind of things. You know, it's like, all I can think to do is just, the most positive thing you can think about is love and peace or whatever. So that's why it's kind of ended up with this. Anyway, this song's called Love's River. And see if you can guess what it's about, or you can tell me what you think it's about.
Okay, wow, I didn't realise.
So I'll put you in the spot. Sorry, you don't have to. You can say about cabbage. You can say, I think it's about getting your veg next day. Anyway, this song's called Love's River, so say it goes. Love me once and love me twice. Know that you don't need to worry. I will always treat you right. Take our time, no need for hurry. Let's begin to bring this thing together. If that's a sin, then let's jump into love's river. You were told but long ago to compare yourself to beauty queen. And as all those models roll, things were never what they seem. All those times, all those crimes, men did deliver. All those attacks held woman back from Love's River. In time of man's ascension, all men must wane. But the river keeps on roaring. She shakes the silver from her mane. In time of man's ascension, all men must wane. I'll take myself back to the river, and I'll bathe myself in silver again. Try to wipe away that hurt. Try to take away that pain. And you know there is one way, draining out that pool of shame. You will begin to bring yourself together. And all those times and all those crimes, they're gone forever. And if that's a sin, then let's jump into love's river. Into love's river.
Hey.
Thank you.
I think that's about the joys of wild swimming, which is a very on-point thing to be doing these days.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad that's the first, the first person we've heard. Well, you're one of the first people we hear. I played it once actually. The last gig we played was at the Doublet. Murray Eastern organised. So you were, of course. So you heard it there. I was actually thinking that, and I was playing this. I was thinking, Ali I'll have heard this song the one time it was actually played live in front of anybody. It went down quite well.
That was one of the last gigs I think I was at. I have a feeling this was a gig that Murray Easton had organised at the Doublet, and it was a lovely afternoon.
It was nice. Carla had said that. Carla had sent me through a CD from something, and I've joined a fan club because I'm a big supporter. I think she's an amazing young woman. She's such a hard worker, you know, and really I don't know anybody actually that works as hard as she does. So she sent me through this stuff, and she'd said that was the last gig, and it was a lovely last gig to have been at. So that was very, very nice compliment.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, talking about giggings, you put, for people that don't know, you put on a monthly 7-song club at the Trong. And you also regularly put on kind of big live events. And live music is obviously something which is really important to you. So, one, tell us why that is the case, and also how much, you know, you're kind of missing it at the moment.
Well, yeah, live music, I suppose, has always been my kind of real primary thing that I've put efforts into, possibly at the expense of other things, because I've never been that keen in the whole mixing part and listening back to things. I mean, even in the studio, I'm kind of known for, I listen back to the final versions, but I can't really listen back to myself singing over and over again. I just find it excruciating, the same as most people do when they hear themselves recorded. At first, you get used to it, but at first, I've never really used it. So I love live music, and I've always played. I mean, I think I've played thousands of gigs over the years. I've been gigging for a long time, and yeah, a lot up here, a lot of times. So the reason for these kind of larger gigs that multi-people played at, it all happened by accident, actually, and it happened because it happened, I suppose, to give credit to, it was Oxjam that first was, which started, God, years and years ago, and Oxfam done this thing called Oxjam, and they basically said, all you have to do is put on an event, blah, 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 think of some theme or some whatever else. So I decided to do something in the Hetherington Research Club in Glasgow University. It was a great place. Fantastic. So I put on something, and it was called it 3-song tag, and people that played, and basically everybody went up and played 3 songs. And it was like, who played? The Starlets played, Now You're International, Stevie Jackson played, Kenny McDonald played, loads of really good people played anyway. And so from that, we kind of surprisingly made money, and then we kind of decided, that one was specifically for Oxfam, so the money went there, and it was really quite enjoyed bringing all these different bands together. So I put on another couple, and they started making money, and then there was I think the first one I may have even split people £8 each or something, but I don't even think I did that. It was just too awkward, so we said, listen, let's just put all the money to charity, and all the bands were up for that. So, and then they got slightly bigger, and they were in maybe all halls, and they started making like a couple of grand, and we just decided a theme for it. So we decided to celebrate songwriters. I suppose that's something that's been the theme of the most of them, it's been celebration of songwriters. So they were celebrations of songwriters, and they were celebrations of, say, like the Velvet Underground, David Bowie, the Kinks, Goffin and King. There's been loads of them. So Simon Garfunkel, Neil Diamond, just loads of them, and then loads of different bands, and people kindly gave their time and their efforts and made them a success. And there was a real sense of community at them. And I think it was because the order wasn't set by the fame of the people, because there's been some quite well-known famous people that have played at them and sang at them. And it wasn't determined by that. It was usually determined by the song that they chose. So if somebody picked up in a quiet song, but they happened to be in a big band, they would still go on early. And for whatever reason, there was a real sense of community. Plus, I think what helped was we sold the drinks up cheap, so the drinks were like £1.50. So everybody was hammered and loving each other. So there was a real sense of community about them. And every time we started doing them, we started selling out almost before it was. So we stopped doing posters, actually, because basically you'd put it on sale and then they would sell out. And then that led to doing, I think we did 3 over at the Kelvin Grove Bandstand. They were called, the kind of label, the wee record label that I run is called Foxstar Records, and they were called Foxstar Weekenders. And with loads of bands playing. In fact, the best one ever was the one that was killed by the weather, and it really was driving, howling wind. You know, and see that, I wish I'd thought, actually, I would have my laptop and I'd put up, see the list of people that played that, and I don't mean just a list of well-known people, because there was some really well-known people played there. the list of selection, I mean, the Sunday, for example, it ran from the Friday, and there was all these different choirs that was organised with Godsoul, who was working with the Heritage Trust at that point, Civic Heritage Trust. And so there were these choirs on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, there was just loads of kind of rock bands, pop bands. But on the Sunday, it opened up in the 12 o'clock, like a 30-piece called the Silver Swans, like they're called. Like, they were like an over 60s, and they were all 70s, 80s orchestra. Yeah. And honestly, it was like, and it actually was sunny for that part of the day. Other than that, it was kind of rained off, which was there was people there, but it was just it was like howling wind and rain. It was just so close to being cancelled because of the weather. But to watch them, there was moments I was watching it, and when I watched that band, these people playing, and it was like that, they were playing, what I was, because I'm on camera in my head, it's William Tell's Overture.
Yes, that's
so
right.
They played that, and I'm sitting there in the bandstand myself, and this is after having been testing the PA that morning, and the previous morning, like blasting out Nina Simone or Ray Charles, a Velvet Underground, like really loud, this brilliant big PA, and to watch these guys and women playing that, there was some really amazing moments of it. So although people end up kind of saying, thinking there's a lot of work involved, there's not as much as folk would think, and I get a lot more out of it than I put into it. Plus I get to play, which is initially the truth of the matter was why I organised the things in the first place. Although subsequently I have ran events where I don't perform because there's too much other things to be done.
And the 7 Song Clubs have been going for quite a while now as well.
Well, that's since 2014, so that again was asked by the Tron, Lisa Nichol, to put on, to curate, I think it was 4 nights, and I was trying to think of some kind of theme, something to make them a bit more interesting, and I was looking up the Tron, and the Tron's got a great history. If nobody's look up history of the Tron Theatre, it's a really, really interesting read. So I was looking up that, and there was various things, like there was a Hellfire Club who were based in the Tron in back in the Vic Bar, and they used to have a big roaring fire, and they were much drunken, kind of Bacchus debauchery going on, and they set fire to the building, because they were partying so hard and putting so much stuff in the fire. So I thought about, there is a band called the Hellfire Club, a really good band based in Glasgow, so couldn't call it that. And then I thought of the Pencil Club for some reason was the next one, and then for some reason, I went to see the June Brides, I think, for a wedding present, and they're great, but they played for too long. Mm-hmm. And they just played for an hour and a half, and maybe some core fans of June Brides would have been saying, "Oh, fantastic! Oh, was a wedding present? Oh God, never lost." I think it was a wedding present. And they just played for too long. And I'd been at a few gigs recently where I was kind of thinking, and no disrespect to anybody who plays long sets if they're not Simon Garfunkel, but I was kind of thinking, see, unless your songs have got big recognition value like Simon Garfunkel, or I don't know, bigger bands, that really they've got such a great back catalogue that an hour and a half show is an hour and a half of absolute cream and brilliant stuff. Unless you have, then sometimes I've been at gigs where I'm just like that. The people that have the best time in the room are the people on stage. Normally the singer, I mean, he's just totally loving it and wants to stay on for ages. And I've actually seen it once where I said somebody just play, they've done this. So the concept of 7 Song Club was get just the best songs and leave every single time, leave the audience wanting more, go and see that band again. And a couple of times people have pushed to do more. And it's been quite remarkable that they kind of lost the audience after a certain point, because there was a time to do it, and they went, "Oh, do you mind just one more, and it kind of, it didn't really work. So the club's been running, and again, it does tend to sell out most of the time in advance. And we've had, I think I worked out, what did I work out? It's been going for 6 years. I think it was something like about 300 or a huge number of performances, like an original songwriting. And again, because I'm talking to you, I never think of these things myself in the house, thinking, "Oh, looking back on it." Yeah. And talking to you, it kind of makes you reflect. And that is one thing. I'm quite proud of that, because I don't take money for it. I mean, basically, there's a fee, and it's 260 quid or something, and I tend to just split it equally. So if there's 3 bands, so sometime I could make 20 quid, and sometime I could make 30 quid, 35 quid. But sometimes I don't actually make anything because there's a lot of bands playing, and I just say, "Oh, do you know what? Why bother? It's nicer to be able to give." And as a musician, I know how many times you don't always get the best deal in kind of gig splits and various things. So I just, yeah, it's quite nice just to. In fact, there's some. I know I'm rambling on now because I've not talked to anybody for ages, Alice. Excuse me. I'll tell you one quick story. There's a guy called Adam Stearns, and I don't know who Adam plays with now, but at that point he was playing with a band Honey and the Herbs. He was playing drums.
Oh yes, yeah.
This guy Adam Stearns, he's like hundreds of different musicians that we'll both know in Scotland and elsewhere. Just really talented people, you know. They're exceptional folk. They've put such time into their craft, and they're brilliant, you know. And they don't really make any money from music, but it's the same in writers, artists, loads of things. That's the choice you take. You get something different from it. You get something that's good for your soul from it. So that's why we do it. But Adam Stearns, I'll get to it. So Adam Stearns, so then the gig, what I used to do is, I've stopped doing it now because I just pay all the back transfer. But what I always used to do is I would actually get the money and physically give each individual person their money. So I would go up to each band and give give person playing the drums like 20 quid, and give it to everybody. And the funniest reaction ever, people are genuinely always really surprised. And because it's a nice place to play, and the audience are really appreciative, and there's a box office and ushers, and it's all very civilised, and sound is always brilliant because the sound guys are
yeah.
People often kind of expect they're not going to get anything, and they're genuinely surprised when they get paid. But Adam Stearns was the funniest ever response, because so I handed him, I think it was like 20 quid or 25 quid, I think it was, and he went like that, all right, thanks. And he was kind of like, respect, thankful enough, cheers, and I was like, all right. And then I went and handed the £25 to, I think it was Rory, who played bass, who now plays with various bands with Alex Rex and folk. Yeah. And so I handed the money to Rory, and Adam Stearns said, "What, each?" It's like complete. It's honestly,
what you're getting
kind of tragic. Kind of tragic. I mean, because this guy is some talent, you know what I mean? And the fact that he was so surprised to be getting paid to 20 quid, 25 quid or 30, I can't remember what it was. It changes every time. Was just pretty illuminating. Didn't surprise me, but yeah, but it was funny. I actually remember laughing on my way up the road, so I was driving home. So the 7 Song Club's a lovely thing, and you've helped a good few times. I have to thank you again.
Oh, they're great.
Comparing it, and that's been a godsend when you've helped to compare it, because they're much better at comparing than I am, but also you do your research. That's what you do. I'm always astounded. You suddenly know loads about the band. I'm like, how did you know I booked them? But yeah, so it's a good thing, and long may it continue.
Definitely.
But we had to cancel. There was quite a lot cancelled. So one thing I was thinking about, and I was going to speak to you kind of offline in this, some other people, was I've thought about doing a kind of reinstating the 7 Song Club as an online thing. I'm just not sure. So because I'm not sure people feel comfortable paying for tickets. I know some bigger bands do that, but it probably have to be a free thing. So I don't know. And there's also quite a lot of people doing them at the moment. Like there's Ruby Tuesdays, the folk in Edinburgh, they're great folk. You've got what's her name, brilliant singer Zoe Bestel. I mean, she does one every Wednesday. She's amazing. She's just brilliant. And there's a lot of people doing them.
There's loads of people doing them, yeah. And they're really
one every Saturday.
Well, but
so I don't know if there's any need for it. I think I thought about it early on, but you always have, I suppose I try to ask myself now, doing things like, who am I doing this for? I mean, if it's so, I've been doing it for the bands, but there is, as I say, I would suddenly then feel a bit responsible to get them a good audience, you know, and then, so I don't know, I might do it, we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a collaboration, maybe we'll do a Scots Whay 7 Song Club collaboration for something, that might be quite nice. We could do it as a fundraiser day, because the Tiny Changes, they did an amazing one at the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try something like that.
Yeah. We could definitely try something like that, we'll have a chat about that, yeah. So you mentioned about kind of looking back. I'd like to know a little bit about your kind of musical career from the beginning, because you've been doing this for a while, as you said, playing a lot of gigs. How did you get into it, Warren? How did you get into playing music?
Well, I got into it initially through being involved in punk, and well, kind of when I was really 13 years old, my friend, mum and dad said a kid called Stephen McKechnie. Stephen, God, he was legendary. So Stephen was a complete, he wouldn't mind me saying at the time, he was a kind of misfit kid. You know, Stephen was exceptionally clever. I mean, really, really clever. People would be talking about football cards, and Stephen would be talking about different volcanic layers and magma and various things. A very clever guy. And he came to our school. He was expelled from Kings Park, actually. So he'd been expelled, and Stephen used to do mental things like, I mean, that was a long time ago. You know, I think Stephen would like spit in his comb and spike up and have all these studs, and people would just like, and there was a fair amount of bullying that went on to Stephen as well, you know, which was tough. He was a very tough character. But anyway, so Stephen played the bass, and then so me, Stephen, got together with this guy Brian Campbell, and we formed a punk band called The Revs, and that was in school. I was in second year at that point, actually. In fact, that was the whole of second year. And bizarrely, there's another friend, Barry McCluskey, who I'm looking through Facebook and is a big music fan. There's lots of people, Barry, talented guy. He's a talented artist. And Barry at that time was part of some little club. I won't mention what club it was. Well, it was a communist club. I've said it now. Barry, that's me outed Barry as a communist news at school. Anyway, Barry made these brilliant badges, and they said The Revs on them because the band was called The Revs. And started selling them all about the school, and badges and punk was such a big thing. And basically everybody's wearing Revs, well, not everybody, a lot of people, prone to exaggeration, a lot of people were wearing Revs badges, and older folk and like 50-year punks and stuff. And so we were this band that never played. We used to play, looking back, it's quite a cool pedigree. We played like Bingo Masters Breakout, first fall single, because that was the thing I never mentioned. Brian's big brother was in a band called the Skulls, based in Pollokshaws, and they had all this gear, and they used to think it was really comical. They would give us all the cast-off punk gear, and they thought this was hysterical, that we'd be kids kitting about in this. So they were also their record collection, we would kind of go through. So there was like that. There was like the English Civil War, which was the first sang some. I'm coming to the end of the story. So we've done loads of The Cure, Killed an Arab, loads of, it's an interesting song, but loads of different great songs at the time. And then we did English Civil War, and I loved English Civil War with The Clash, because The Clash was the first album I'd ever bought, Clash. And Brian and Stevie wouldn't sing it. They were going, no, I don't know what to do it. So you sing it. So I literally had to sing it, just because or else it wouldn't be done. So I sang that, and it was recorded and stuff. I've got a recording somewhere, but I need to dig it out and digitise it. And so that kind of, I sang for the first time. So then I suppose gave up. I retired for 2 years, and then another friend of the family's, they popped in with an acoustic guitar. He played Wild Thing and House the Rising Sun, and I was smitten, absolutely smitten. And I got a guitar within a week from my birthday money, and I've never stopped playing since. A long, long time ago. And initially, it was really bluesy stuff. I was into kind of more folky, but real blues stuff. And the first band we did a lot of gigs was called Sun Clocks. A lot of times there's been a kind of whatever you call it, sky theme, a planet anyway. It's called the Sun Clocks, and it was a rhythm blues band. It was really quite successful. We made a lot of money because we were very young, we were a good band, and we just played a lot of gigs, you know. So we were playing every weekend 2-3 times, and then that folded, and I put together the Moondials, and that was with other new people. John Rooney was the only person who continued on. Stevie Jackson, now Bell Sebastian, he joined the band. Colin Nelson and Gary Tom. So we were like a band of brothers, and that was, I suppose, the band that I've been in that was the most, we did the most over a very short period of time, because we could set up a record company, we released records, we toured France, we toured through Czechoslovakia, everywhere, France, Germany, Holland. We just went everywhere in this van, just this ridiculous trip, playing gigs for weeks at a time, and then come back and go away. So I guess, from then I kept on changing band names, which I realise now probably wasn't a good idea, because look at Douglas, the lovely, amazing Douglas, like the BMX Bandits going, and he has had certain core members that have come and went. He's had so many lineups, but he kept the name. So maybe I should just have kept the name Revs when I was 13. And
right through. Yeah. Although I don't know if Revs would have suited some of your later stuff. That's no. Maybe a different kind of Rev.
Yeah. So then it became and then I had my daughter was born, and I stopped playing music altogether. I'd folded the band I was in. It was a band called Ducks at the time. Oh yeah. Again, we were doing quite well. We got single just after. My timing's always been impeccable. I've got the worst timing ever. I mean, you can hear it a bit in the guitar, but that's why I need to play with better musicians than I am all the time. We get single at the month in Record Collector, and there was various company interests and stuff, but it just wasn't the right time for me. I don't know, it just wasn't the right time. So we folded the band, and then didn't really do anything for 2 or 3 years, and then gradually get back into it. Yeah. So it's been a I don't know, that was a bit of a rambling walk through loads of different bands.
I didn't know the full, I kind of knew little bits of that, but it's interesting to kind of put it all together. I think if you're up for it, we could hear another song, another new song.
Absolutely. What could it be? So this thing, I call a song. This song, this is called, it was called Always Love You, and then I was advised that we've got to change the name of it. So I think it's going to be called I Want You to Know.
Okay.
Because apparently there's another song called Always Love You, and it's quite a popular one, so we'd be lost in the algorithms or whatever it is. Anyway, so we'll see how this goes. Fresh from the start, I don't know why, but I felt so low. I empty my heart of every feeling till I am cold as a stone. And I want you to know, yes, I want you to know, I want you to know that I will always love you. And if you've got to go, then take care on the road. But it's important you know you are loved. Then came the day you came along and you held out your hand. You said, let's agree, our only plan will be there is no plan. And I want you to know, yes, I want you to know, I want you to know that I will always love you. And if you've got to go, take care on the road, 'cause it's important you know you are loved. In the darkness I dream to see eyes looking back at me, and sometimes I cry. I remember the time you said you loved me, and it makes my spirit fly. And I want you to know, yes, I want you to know, I want you to know that I will always love you. And if you've got to go, take care on the road, and it's important you know you are loved. Yes, I want you to know, yes, I want you to know that it's important you are loved. Thank you. It was meant to start with that. That's how it was meant to start. It was meant to start with this. I always get red light fever and forget. And there's also a guitar solo played by Johnny Moondial, and I think it's a blistering guitar solo that goes in it, and it's probably that's going to be a single. We've been advised that should be a single in the next, I don't know, it'll be either the next one or it'll be the one after that. I think the next singles are probably going to be probably two songs, one called Do It With Love, the title track, and the next one's called, the other one will be that, whatever it's, that one ends up being called.
I'm interested in, it seems to me that you get really excited about the next new songs. How do you feel about the one, so for instance, your last album, Be Kind, was really well thought of, and you know, people love it, including myself. It's a great record. Do you kind of, once those songs are done, do you get more excited about the new ones? Or do you still, are you still fond of those older ones?
I am still fond of them. It's funny how you can have, again, you've got to just move on though. I mean, right now, it's strange because right now I'm just really, we're finishing off, Matt's finishing off a harmony vocal. Pretty much that's the album going for mastering. It's going to be sent for mastering. I think the date for it's the 14th. So I'm just working on all the new stuff now, and I think I've got most of the songs for the next album. I can't wait to start it. And luckily, exclusive, it's not a definite, but the producer Kramer had told him this, but he had said he was keen to make a record with us. So I think we might make the next record with him. He lives in Florida, so whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. But it'd be nice. I love the stuff. I love the stuff that he's done with Zan. Their new band is just fantastic. It's like, and I know you've featured it before. Yeah. It's just such a beautiful record. And I wasn't as aware. Adam Scott plays bass in Starry Skies. I mean, when I mentioned Kramer, he would see this, so I can say this, because when he said, like, can you make a record, I was thinking, that'd be quite good. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. And I didn't really realise his pedigree, so maybe that's a good thing in casual, I don't know. And I didn't really say anything, but I was kind of, yeah, that'd be okay, and didn't really say much. And then I said to Adam, and he was going, wow, Kramer, for God's sake. And then I kind of looked them up, and I started listening to all the things he produced. I realised I'd heard hundreds of things he produced, but I hadn't known it was him that produced them. But he's just some amazing people he's worked with. I mean, there's the famous ones like Daniel Johnston and Galaxy 500, and lots of them.
Yes. And you're right. I'm looking good with Zan Tyler at the moment. It's lovely, really good.
Zan's voice is so beautiful. To answer the question, though, yeah, I don't dislike the old song, but I do find it quite hard to listen to myself singing on the old songs. So there'll be some songs I'll always love, like Be Kind. I love that song. I do. It's probably the proudest I've ever been of any song I've written, and just because it's just so simple, and I do really love it. And the message is just so straightforward. It just kind of came out one day, the song. So I'm dead proud of that. So I don't listen to it. I play it.
Yeah.
But to some of the other songs that maybe slightly, there's a couple of more Americana songs where I listen back and I quite like the lyrics. I like the lyrics, and I love the band. I mean, the band, playing.
Yeah, sure.
I love the band. But then I'm singing like, there's the song Sugarcane, and I'm singing like when I was a little boy, I traded, and this kind of crazy American accent, which I'm trying to do less. Well, I do less, but now and again, that song suits that.
Yeah.
And I listen back and I kind of cringe. But then again, that's a couple of people I know that's their favourite song. In fact, I played in Greenock and Gamble Halls recently, and this guy had a song called Time Alone, which is a real country song. It's real, it's got pedal steel and everything. It's from the first album, Ask the Animals. It's like, Time Alone, but it's all very Americana. And this complete stranger came up to me and said, you're the guy in that Starry Skies. I listen to that song Time Alone all the time in his truck. And he's just like, so I don't like to talk down a song.
No, quite right.
Talking down me rather than the song,
But definitely, I think the track Be Kind seemed to really capture a mood and strike a chord with a lot of people. I think that's had for a lot of people I know, that's one of their favourite songs of recent times. It really did seem to. Maybe it was the simplicity of it or the message behind it, but there was something about it which sometimes you can't put your finger on. But yeah, it seemed to.
It was a really strange one, that song, because it was like, it came out in 2018, so it came out in, I don't know, was it August or something, I think. So it came out in August, and then bizarrely during 2019, like halfway into 2019, there was the whole Caroline Black stuff, which I didn't really know anything about Caroline, but there was this message, and there was always suddenly, I remember saying Be Kind's an original. I like cliche, the Be Kind was like a kind of thing. It was like, I don't know, one of these sayings that people would say, no, but be kind, but it was not something And then suddenly it was just everywhere. In fact, even the coronavirus right now, there's amazing people called Jackarts that have put up these posters, and they're not just in Glasgow, those posters, I've even seen them say Be Kind on them. Be Kind, community is kindness. They're all over billboards in Glasgow. They have been over the last 3 months. They're all over Manchester and London and everywhere else as well. And there's all this constant hashtag trending Be Kind. When it happened, and there was like, it was a really quite a strange thing, because there was a cynical capricious, whatever the word is, capricious. Well, there was a part of me that was kind of going, I should try and like hashtag, I should learn to use Twitter, and I should be hashtagging people and getting everybody to listen to this song, and this song could be a hit. And I do think Be Kind will be a hit one day for somebody. It might just not be, it would be me, it probably would be my lifetime, but I do think one day it will be. And I was going to, and then I just thought, do you know what, it's just too contrived. So I just kind of went, just let it sit, and what will be. So I didn't really push it much.
I think it'd be a good idea to finish talking about. Well, we've been all kind of locked down. Is there anything that you've been listening to or watching that you would think other people might have missed? Or have you been really healthy and been out most days? And
I wish. I think now I get on my bike and I listen to music and I cycle just to kind of out. The Best of Kramer playlist is an amazing listen, and the new album with Kramer and Zan is really, really good. I've been enjoying those. I've been watching a lot of different podcasts, music on kind of Scream. The guy Andrew Taylor from Dropkick, that band Dropkick, he's done a lot of really good podcasts. There's that great podcast. It's Getting Dark in Here. What's it called? I've just forgotten the name of it. Anyway, there's a few podcasts listening to your own, which is brilliant. That was my journey the other day. I was listening to your podcast. Zoe Bestel, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She is really good. There's a thing called the Ruby Sessions that comes from Edinburgh, and it's like Daniel McGeever and various people. William Douglas, they're really good. And TV, I watched all of the American Office and I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. You know, I just thought it was brilliant. I watched 11/9, the Michael Moore film. I'd recommend that. I mean, hard watching, you know, and it's quite, but it's about the water supply in Flint, Michigan. And it happened before I watched it just before the whole Black Lives Matter protests began, and thinking about it, and it was just before it, so I was kind of like, if you've not watched it, it's worth looking into. Yeah. This world needs to change. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
The one thing, Ali, could I just give one mention to something?
Yeah,
it's okay. I'm going to be on West Fife Radio on the 5th of July, but the one thing I wanted to mention was we decided with the Be Kind album that there was a kind of record store drop thing. It's not the big record store day, obviously, which is later in the year, but Love Music Glasgow, great record shop, you know, and record shops will lose them, you know, they're tough enough time, record shops and bookshops had a tough enough time without this happening. So they've been really scunnered by it. So I spoke to Sandy, who runs Love Music Glasgow, the record shop right beside Queen Street, and they've got a brilliant online shop there I have. And basically we're doing a special deal on the Be Kind album. Well, Sandy's doing it as a bundle. One, we're clearing stock as well. I went then we're clearing stock because of the new album. But all of the kind of the repressing of the CDs and vinyls, Sandy's doing a deal. It's a tenner for a vinyl album and a vinyl CD. So you can give one away, you can keep one and give it away to presents. So if any listeners want to check out Love Music Glasgow, that's one. And I think that's the first time I've ever remembered to plug anything.
Well, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you did it on this show, I have to say. Well, Warren, thanks so much for doing this. It's been great to catch up.
Likewise, it's been great talking.
And
really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And we'll be back soon with someone completely different here.